Welcome to episode 6 of our FIFA 22 Newcastle United Career Mode, where today we'll be completing season 3 of the save, and there is some pressure for us to start delivering results. If we can keep our place there and about in the Premier League standings and also continue to advance in the Europa Conference League, that should keep us on course, but obviously we're experiencing some unprecedented events right now at Newcastle with the change of ownership, but we're going to keep rolling with it. Longtime viewers of the channel know I like to keep my saves realistic, and now it's gotten to the point where making these huge signings is almost the most realistic thing to do. I'm going to be relying a lot on your comments for any potential transfers that we make in the future. Speaking of which, I looked over the comments from the last episode and identified a few players that Newcastle are linked with for a move in January and also would fit our current squad and tactics. Unfortunately, with it being season 3, a lot of players will have already transferred, so I eliminated them from consideration. Koulibaly would have been a huge addition had he not made the transfer already to Manchester City. We've struggled defensively and he certainly would have helped us improve. Next up, Donny van de Beek. A lot of rumors for him to potentially leave Manchester United in the winter. Again, another player that would have fit right into our midfield. Versatile, can play center mid, center attack mid, or center defensive mid, but Atletico Madrid already signed him. And then you've got another United player with Anthony Martial. We already have so many strikers in this team already, but he did make the transfer to Wolfsburg. Considering we only have 33 million to work with in our transfer budget, we can't make that top signing, but I still think we can make a marquee transfer with Philippe Coutinho. There are rumors that he's going to join Newcastle in January, and I think it makes sense. He's not getting too much playtime over at Barcelona, has spent the last few seasons out on loan at clubs like Bayern Munich, and of course he used to play in the Premier League for Liverpool. He's going to offer that creative solution for us in the midfield, signing for 25 million. It is slightly more than his current market value, but you guys watched from last season how good Gareth Bale was for us. And considering Coutinho is only 31, that's younger than when we signed Bale, we can get 1 or 2 top quality seasons out of him before eventually transitioning to a squad rotational player. That begs the question what we should be doing with Joe Willock. Offers are coming in. Borussia Dortmund want to bring in all those English center midfielders, maybe linking up with Jude Bellingham. But I think my plan is to let Coutinho start this year. Willock will still get plenty of appearances because we have a lot of different competitions. This will also let him go on that development plan path as he continues to work on his attributes and become a more well-rounded player. But we will have a couple of departures this season or at the start of next year. Again, struggling to get players out of the club, but Manquillo will be departing for Levante at the start of season 4. Unfortunately, he just didn't work out with my tactics. As a right back, we would maybe play him out at right mid, but he's our third choice player there. And with Dummett getting older, we accepted this 3.4 million offer from Schalke to let him depart for the Bundesliga. We will get lots of players out on loan though, and that is promising because our squad size is actually reaching its capacity. So I figure we'll see how this season's loans go, and then come the start of season 4, we'll start to narrow down which youth academy players will actually keep in the club and which ones will either transfer list or just release in general. But that won't stop us from continuing to set up scouting networks. Talking about a few new countries, we'll be heading to Saudi Arabia to look for a technically gifted player. And with how good Santiago Munoz has been for us at Newcastle, I figure we set up another network in Mexico to look for a winger. We are going to see a change in tactics. Hayden is going to switch from a center defensive mid role to a center back. They gave him a +1 in his rating, and you can see on this stopper development plan, I think it's going to make him an even better center back as it'll help improve his pace and some of those attributes. Boscali's shifting up from a center back to a center defensive midfielder. It is one of his secondary positions, and with his incredible passing, he excelled in the last episode. We hope to keep that going. We've officially reached the point in this career mode where all of our players in the starting 11 are 80 rated or higher, which is incredible. Of course, we're going to be starting Woodman for the Europa Conference League, as we still have plans for him to eventually take over for Dubravka. But I want to cover these new instructions for Coutinho. Whenever crosses are coming in, he'll be staying on the edge of the box, hopefully get some long shots going, and of course, free roam instructions to optimize that creativity. If you're excited for the Europa Conference League and want to help support the channel, leave a like on the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any Newcastle content. Our path to this point in the Europa Conference League has been pretty simple. The quality of our opposition is expected to go up now that we are in the knockout rounds. And of course, we now need to factor in aggregate score lines. We won 2-0 on the away fixture. And for the first time in a long time, it's going to be European nights at St. James's Park. Excited to get into this one and also debut our new signing Coutinho. It'll be lost to get the first highlight in this one, and surprisingly, they had some good build-up play, nearly getting an early goal and cutting the aggregate in half. had it not been for a good stop from Woodman. Good to see that he's still putting in quality minutes here in the Europa Conference League, despite getting limited chances in the Premier League because Dalbrauca has been so good for us. But Coutinho showcasing that creative ability, setting up Munoz perfectly. That's going to be an easy finish on his left foot, increasing our aggregate to 3, and pretty much shutting the door on any chance Las can get back into this. Saint-Maximin looking to make it 2 for us, and I've been using those low-driven shots a lot more often. Seems to be the way to score in FIFA 22. Mentioned it a little bit in the last episode, but I've continued practicing that routine, and Saint-Maximin at his high rating is only going to give us more success. I was really curious to see how our new defensive shape would work out. Of course, Hayden now playing as a center back, and Boscali shifting up to center defensive mid. Hayden put in that initial great tackle, but that's a mistake on my part. It's technically Lascelles to make the passing error, but I think in the last second, Kim Min-jae shifted backwards instead of pushing more into the midfield. It's a bit unfortunate, but what are you going to do? And at least we have a good aggregate lead at this point, so we can make a couple of errors here and there. Munoz is looking to get his second, but it's a quality save from the last goalkeeper. I don't think he was at fault for a lot of these goals. Our attack was just too good. Sarr again with a finesse shot effort saved as we get into the 77th minute. And at this point, we've made a couple of substitutions, Joelinton being brought on, and we're continuing that pressure. The quick passing play will set up Saint-Maximin, and it ended up being a shot, but it turned into a pass to Joelinton, and he always seems to be at the right place at the right time. A late appearance for him and a late goal puts the scoreline today at 3-1, 5-1 on aggregate as we cruise into the quarterfinals. We're still yet to face a club from the top 5 leagues, but Athens will be our next opponent. They've done well to reach the quarterfinals. AEK fans known to have some of the most support in Europe, and that is where we'll be traveling away. It's a shame we can't have the real stadium in FIFA 22, but the home fixture did end in a 1-0 simulated result. This stage of the competition should be a lot more interesting because we have just a 1-goal lead rather than 2 like we had in the round of 16. And it was AEK to get a couple of good chances early on, but the over-the-top through ball fell perfectly to Saint-Maximin, denied by the goalkeeper as it stays level. Now Longstaff is going to get a rare appearance, setting up Almiron, a couple of skill moves, now looking for Longstaff in the middle, is going to turn perfectly, and it's going to be a cross-goal effort to make it 1 for us and give us that 2-goal cushion. I was hoping to maintain a clean sheet and not make too many defensive errors, but Athens respond quickly. That's a great shot, and not too much that Woodman could have done about that. I just had this feeling that this is going to be a battle until the end, as their captain will make things level on the day. It's Sarr from the right side, setting up Joelinton, now to Coutinho, the long shot off of the post, but Joelinton, just like the last match, right place at the right time. That's exactly why I decided to start him, as he's going to bring our aggregate lead up to 2. It might have looked like a simple finish, but this angle was by no means easy. We'll push forward to the second half, and it's Athens looking for the cross. You saw the player calling out for it, and Woodman tipping that one over the crossbar. It was pretty much all Athens here towards the end, and a number of stops by Woodman. He's going to start the counterattack for us. Saint-Maximin spotting out the run from Joelinton. He's going to get by a couple of defenders with ease, some skill moves, which is an interesting combination because obviously he's a tall player and can kind of be a target man for us in the box, but I think he's technically gifted. And speaking of technically gifted, how about that for some passing to find Sarr? For the first 20 or so minutes after the halftime break, I thought Athens were going to get back into this, but the quality of this Newcastle team rose to the top, and we're going to continue this incredible journey in the Europa Conference League, now into the semifinals. I always enjoy a fixture against Ajax. I did a career mode with them in FIFA 21. Seen in a lot of career modes, they're in the Champions League because they've got so many high potential players, so I was surprised that they're only in the Europa Conference League. To be fair, a couple other players have transferred away, but that didn't stop them from winning the home leg, as it ended 2-1 courtesy of a brace from Morelos. We know exactly what we need to do, and we need to figure out some sort of tactics to defeat this strong Ajax team, because they're always going to be defensively sound and just ruthless on the counterattack. Looking to start things on a positive note. Here the goalkeeper distributes it right back to us. Sarr picks up possession because he's the player to watch. He sets up Saint-Maximin through to Almiron. Really should have been the first goal. And Almiron is a bit inconsistent from this sort of range. He scored some great goals from that position before, but he's also missed a couple. And consistency is what I look for in players. Even if they're only going to be left midfielders, we expect our wingers to get involved in the attack. Fortunately, he's going to make up with it as a low-driven shot, despite aiming for the far post, ended up being right at the keeper and somehow still finds the net. We'll take it, though, as it's going to level things on aggregate. Moving forward, we need to start thinking about which areas of this Newcastle team we want to improve upon. Of course, there is still some defensive issues as showcased right here. Way too much possession for Ajax, and eventually it's Morelos with that far post effort to, again, give Ajax their lead on aggregate. We should be doing better there and really not giving him that sort of time and space. I don't know whether a change in tactics or just by signing some higher overall players is going to limit the number of goals, but fortunately we've got Freddie Woodman on our side and he was in form for this one. Keeping things close as we make a substitution. Joelinton has been the player in form, at least for this episode, and that's why I like having him available off the bench, because he offers something different than Munoz. More of a target man player and someone that we can kind of loft the ball forward to and start the counterattack. This is a lot of luck for it to fall back to Saint-Maximin, a fortunate touch to bring it right in front of goal. But sometimes you need a little bit of luck on your side if you want to make a run in any sort of cup competition as we bring things level on aggregate. Trying to keep our shape defensively. Antony now through to Klaassen. Could have been the go-ahead one for Ajax as they'll get another chance. Again, Antony to Danilo, back to Antony. We'll get the block in and start to go on the counterattack with just 3 minutes left to play of regulation time. It's Willock that came on as a substitute. He's played through and has enough pace to get by the Ajax defenders. The near post effort is by the goalkeeper, and Joe Willock may have lost his place in the starting 11, but that doesn't stop him from putting in huge performances for us at Newcastle, as he'll give us the late go-ahead goal and into the final of the Europa Conference League. Before we can play said final, we have the final fixture of the Premier League season. Certainly a lot to play for because we are currently 4th place, Liverpool right on our tails, 1 point behind us, so we realistically need to get a win. Of course, we've got some history with Manchester City in the past. They defeated us in the Carabao Cup final in Season 1. And to be honest, it's relatively the same Manchester City squad. The only departure that I can notice is no Kyle Walker. Cancelo playing at right back, and Scally has filled in at left back. But I think there's other players in this Manchester City team that we need to watch out for more. Ederson, of course, one of the top goalkeepers in the Prem, along with Dubravka, who we will need to rely on trying to maintain a clean sheet or as few goals as possible. Great start to this match as Sarr has his efforts saved and a double save from Ederson. But good to see that we're putting on that pressure early on. 25th minute now. It's Cantwell playing through Munoz. Has that option in the middle. Decided to go with the goal effort, and fortunately, it was a bounce straight back to Saint-Maximin. That luck from the semifinal of the Europa Conference League carrying forward into this one, but it's good positioning by Saint-Maximin. Honestly, should have played the past him in the first place, but it works out in the end. Getting an early lead is a promising start, but we still have a long time left in this match. Dubravka with some heroic efforts to stop that from going in, but it's Scally, the player we were talking about. He has no business scoring that sort of goal, and you're going to see here from the replay how good it was. He kind of nods it forward, and then what I'm assuming is on his weak foot is going to hit it on his left and into the corner. We'll get one more opportunity before the halftime break, and it's Sarr again played through. Finds himself in this sort of position so many times. Unfortunately, that effort is saved by Ederson, and that is how we're going to go into the halftime break. I think a fairly level 45 minutes, and it's really anyone's match to win. Sterling has its effort saved again from Dubravka, as finally we're going to get some highlights. Saint-Maximin, 2 Manchester City players around him. Somehow he picks out this pass to Munoz. It's just one of those R1 X crosses that somehow lock onto your player, but we're absolutely going to take that. To Munoz's credit, he's improved a lot since the start of this career mode, and I'm assuming his attack positioning has gotten better. Of course, I'm going to bring on Willock late in this match after that last-second goal he scored for us against Ajax, and this is exactly why. What an effort, and I think that ranks even higher than the bicycle kick Gareth Bale scored last season. You've got to think Willock is proving a point. Even if we sign Coutinho, if he continues to perform like this, scoring acrobatic goals, late winners, then he has to earn his place in the starting 11. We'll see how things do develop, but right now, it is just amazing that we have these different options to choose from. Manchester City managed to get 1 goal back here in the 72nd. It's exactly why I didn't want to count them out, because they are ruthless on the counter. They have that distribution available in the midfield. And here, as we're trying to see out the clock, we get one misplaced pass. It was Willock of all players. Maybe I should have done a better job of slowing things down, as there was really no reason to rush it. But I think you all have an idea of what is going to happen. De Bruyne lofts it forward to one of their players as Williams gets played through, and that is going to be the equalizer. And of course, as we look at the results, we have officially dropped down to 5th, which still qualifies us for Europa League next season, but we were literally seconds away from taking the the step up to Champions League in Season 4. I know we've already secured qualification for the Europa League, but I want to win some silverware and continue this cup run as we match up against Hoffenheim, who have made some good signings in the offseason. I believe Witzel was available as a free agent. He's now captaining this side as he'll keep his place in the Bundesliga. You can see some rotation to our starting 11 though. Joelinton again getting the nod to start. I think more than anything, it's because he has been the striker in form, even if Munoz is higher rated and has seen more growth. Sometimes you need to go with your intuition, and for me, Joelinton was the player that I thought we needed to start. Let's go ahead and try to end this season on a high note as Sar starts down this right side. We've seen it time and time again. He's too quick for these defenders to catch up to, and now that we factored in that far post finishing with the low driven shot, he's just become an unstoppable player for a lot of the opposition that we face against. That time, lifting the ball just over the outstretched leg of the goalkeeper. Continuing that momentum here in the 23rd minute as Saint-Maximin is played through. Instead of going straight for goal, he'll play that unselfishly over to Sar. Another cross goal effort, doubling our lead and showing Hoffenheim that we're the favorites to win this competition. We have been since the start of this season, and now we're showing it in the final. Here, this is a bad job of defending from Lascelles. He was staying with the defender and just kind of getting dragged more and more towards goal. Fortunately, it was another good stop from Woodman, who I think is kind of an underrated player in this Newcastle squad. He's been incredibly consistent in the Europa Conference League. That's an area that he struggled with in the past, notably in the Carabao Cup final against Manchester City, but he seems to have redeemed himself and he has grown as a player. That's all you can ask for, and it's nice that we don't need to rely on a single goalkeeper option in Dubravka. We end up making things 3, courtesy of a goal from Saint-Maximin. So that's a goal and an assist in this final. He always seems to rise to the occasion, and he will again here. Hoffenheim are going to find a way to make things interesting though, as we're in the 59th minute, and it's Vega with a long shot effort. That one going off of the crossbar. Now in the 65th, can we seal the deal? It's Almiron down this left side, going with the effort cross goal, this time saved from the Hoffenheim keeper, Baumann. But in the 72nd, we can only stop this attack for so long. It was an easy square cross. And Paco Alcacer, it seems like Hoffenheim are signing a lot of former Dortmund players, ends up bringing this match to just 1. We're into the 90th minute, and Lascelles will commit a foul and give Hoffenheim a free kick chance. Basically, the last highlight of this match. It's played into the box, but Woodman does enough to get that one cleared. We're going to kick it out of play. Ref calling for full time. And just like that, we have won the Europa Conference League in Season 3. Taking the step up to the Europa League for Season 4 and building upon that gradual momentum that we have going in this career mode. I can't stress enough how proud I am of this squad that we're building. We're taking our time with the save up to this point. Now that we're making moves in Europe though, and also the ownership change, we can continue to see a rise in our transfer budget and make those higher and higher profile signings. This may also be the last time the Lascelles lifts a trophy as captain. I know he's a long-time Newcastle player, but as he gets older, we may need to start looking at other options defensively. But that's a topic for Season 4. Let's celebrate this victory as we bring home a trophy in consecutive seasons. I'm at a loss for words for all the events that took place in this Premier League season. I don't think we're ever going to see a table as things currently stand. Brighton winning the Premier League, Manchester City in 2nd, Liverpool in 3rd, and Burnley qualifying for Champions League football. We, of course, saw the drop to 5th on the final match day. But realistically, I think our squad is probably optimized for Europa League football. We're not quite ready for Champions League, so maybe it's for the better. Taking a look at the relegated clubs, it's Norwich, Sheffield United, and Stoke City. And for clubs gaining promotion, it will be Watford and Bournemouth. Impressive to see Watford still won the league despite the departure of Ismaila Sarr, and West Brom winning the championship playoffs. Now you might be wondering how Brighton won the league, and I think it has a lot to do with McAllister. To be honest, I wasn't familiar with this player, but to lead the Premier League in goals as a center attacking mid speaks for itself, especially as an 82 rated player. To be fair though, Brighton have some high potential options in their squad. They've retained the likes of Lamptey and Cucurella. But shifting gears to top assists, Kane and Son in 1st and 2nd, Saint-Maximin in 3rd, 8 from 37. We also had Sarr in the top 15 with 6 assists from 34. Dubravka kept his place at the top of the Premier League clean sheets, finishing joint 1st with Sanchez from Brighton, 12 clean sheets from 38 appearances. And to cover all competitions, it was an early exit for us in the FA Cup, a 3rd round loss to Watford, Leeds winning the final against Aston Villa, For the Carabao Cup, it was Manchester United that defeated us in the quarterfinals. Manchester City with a victory over Watford in the final. Champions League went to Barcelona. Everton winning the Europa League on penalties. And you already know, we won the Europa Conference League 3-2 over Hoffenheim. Now that Saint-Maximin has that supporting cast around him, I feel like he has continued to excel as a player. We're holding off on switching his position because we don't want his overall rating to be too much higher than the squad. But some impressive numbers: 25 goals from 53 appearances. Sarr not too far behind, 18 from 50. And Munoz also breaking into the top 3, 15 from 47. Pretty similar numbers for the assists. Saint-Maximin and Sarr tied for first, with Cantwell breaking into the top 3 with 6 assists from 45. I think this will go down as the season that we finally saw some great growth from our youth academy players. A +7 with Peter Pryor's loan spell at Watford. It seems like we're establishing some sort of transfer history. You can see we've got 2 players on loan at the club with Pryor and James. Of course, we also signed Sarr from Watford. Our youth academy is also looking stacked. Chase Thomas is the top prospect right now, a center back from the United States at a 68 overall at just 16 years old. As far as the 2 new scouting networks go, not the best results. Al-Jabbar was the best player we found from Saudi Arabia, and Martin, the best player that we found from Mexico. Could probably put a development plan on him and see a boost to his rating. Like I mentioned earlier, we're reaching a maximum squad size, so in order to promote all those youth academy prospects, I did have to actually release a player with James Fagan. If you can recall, he was a free agent that we signed to meet one of our board objectives, so not a big loss here. I'm not too sure about some of these board objectives because we definitely signed a player from Europe, Chaloba, joining on a free at the beginning of the season, but it doesn't matter too much. Our manager rating is in good shape at 77. Hopefully we can see an even higher manager rating next year. Big thanks to channel members for supporting what we do here on YouTube. If you ever want to learn more about the membership program, click the join button right underneath the video and unlock some exclusive perks to the channel. But I am so excited to begin season 4 of the save. I think we're going to see a massive rise in our transfer budget, so we'll keep those signings going as we break into the Europa League and maybe the top 4 of the Premier League. If you enjoyed today's Newcastle video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. But until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to you all again soon.